it's better to see than to just talk about. And we'll jump over to Office 365 and we'll get logged into Microsoft Planner. Okay, so here we are in our Office 365 portal. That's at office.com. Now, if you've tuned in before to our webinar Wednesdays for Office 365, you know that I always start out here in the Office 365 portal. And for good reason. It's a good place to see all of the different apps and services that are included in your Office 365 subscription. So good for discovery if you're not completely familiar with all of the details that are included with your subscription. And I wanted to show today, now I typically have you jump into the apps here in the quick launch section of the Office 365 portal. But today the app that we're looking for, Planner, is not listed here. So if you do click on Explore All Your Apps, if you haven't used Planner before, you'll have to scroll down through the list here, which is in alphabetical order, and pick Planner. And we will load up the new Planner. We get a welcome screen, and here we go. So a few things here. When we do land into Planner, we land on what's called the Planner Hub. Now, first and foremost, we get a reminder here to get the app on our smartphone, and which we're going to cover that in a few minutes. And we have some sections here for favorite plans. If you do work on something frequently and you want to favorite it so it shows up at the top, you can. And then recent plans, we're going to dive into the Office Move and the AdventureWorks plans here in just a few moments. And then you can see all the plans that are assigned to this particular user. So I'm just using some sample data in a demo tenant of Office 365, and just for reference here, I am using the Chrome browser. This would work in Edge, Firefox, Safari, basically anything that you want to use to access the internet. So a few other spots here to point out on the home page of Planner. We have a My Tasks section. Now this is where you'll see anything that's assigned to you in any of the plans, so it's not just limited to the Office Move or AdventureWorks. Again, this is anything that's assigned to you, and you can see the different buckets, which we'll cover in just a moment. One thing to note here as well, and I'll show it a little later on in the webinar, that you don't always need to jump into here to My Tasks to see your tasks, as again there is some deep integration between Outlook and Office 365 and Teams that you'll be able to surface that information in some other interesting places. But again, I'll show you those tips a little later on. So let's go ahead now and look at one of the plan boards that we have pre-built. I've got an Office Move plan board here, so you can see right straight off the bat we have a star here that we can add this to our favorites. Again, perhaps it's something that we're working on quite frequently. We want to appear in on top of our list. We can change the picture and change information on our planner as well. We can even change the name if we had to. Across the top here we do have the board, charts, schedule sections, as well. There's some more items around conversations. We can see the members that belong to this plan board, all of the associated files, OneNote notebook. We can see the SharePoint sites where files may be stored as well. We can remove from favorites, copy, export the plan to Excel. We can grab a link if we want to share that out in an instant message or email. We can adjust the settings here, and we can add this plan to our Outlook calendar, and we'll cover some of these a little later on in the webinar. Over here visually as well, we can see the teammates that are in this plan. We have Alan and Spencer, and there's another representation here. If you had a lot of members, you could search through, or you could enter their name to add them to the planner quickly. We have a filter here for all the variety of tasks. If you want to filter by a certain time range, like this week and next week, we can filter by label. We'll show you those in just a moment. And you can filter by who tasks are assigned to. So in this case, we could see everything that's assigned to Alan or everything that was assigned to Spencer. And sort of the default view when you are on this main plan board is to be grouped by bucket. But again, we have some different views here where we can group tasks assigned to. We can group by progress, by due date, and by labels. So again, let's go back to some of the components that we have here in the planner. We do have the notion of buckets. And it's really sort of important to wrap your head around these buckets, because this will be the way that you give context to tasks or smaller tasks that are part of a larger plan or larger project within your plan board. So In this example, we have an office move that the team is involved with. I've gone ahead and made an urgent bucket, so call the moving company is an urgent task, so we can sort of give it some context by placing it in the urgent bucket. We have an anytime bucket. We've actually got a completed task here. Get boxes was completed by Spencer Lowe a few days ago. We can add a new bucket here, something named vendors, and we can go ahead and add a subtask. For example, you're going to want to call your phone company to move your service, and we can assign a due date. We can assign this to Alan and add the task to the vendors bucket. So now that the task is created, let's go ahead here and look at one of these task cards. Now there's a lot of functionality and features here within the task card, so it's important to go in here and see. And we can assign a start date. Obviously we assigned a due date. We have a description here where we can add some information. If you wanted to add a checklist, again, this is another way to take tasks and break them down into smaller sort of bite-sized pieces. So if you had a checklist of things that you wanted to prepare or repeat with each certain task, you could certainly do that. If you wanted to add an attachment, in this example of calling the phone company, you may want to attach the contract or something that shows the account number, for example. And then you can add comments here. Now, the comments are sort of like a mini chat, mini conversation feature, a functionality. So multiple users can add comments back and forth. And again, you would see that here in the context of the task card. Now back to our description, you can show the description on the card if you want. We'll check that off and I'll show you that in just a second. But before I do, we do have all of these custom labels here. So interesting flags, you can color code if you want, and you can relabel any of these. Do now, you can add different people, you can add different departments, different context. Again, just another way to help you refine your tasks and give them more context in the matter of a plan. So we'll get out of there now. So here we can see that our description is added on the card. A few other things to note here on the plan board as far as the buckets go. Very easy to drag and drop if we wanted to take the phone company service out of vendors and move it to urgent. You certainly can do so. If you want to assign this task to different or more people, you can have multiple people assigned to one task. And then from this interface as well, you can even go ahead and check the task off. So we'll go ahead and complete this task, and you'll see that it minimizes down here under the completed section. So out of the gate here, we've got some pretty powerful functionality as far as tasks, giving context to those tasks and using the different buckets here within Microsoft Planner. Let's go through a few more of the different views within the interface here. One I want to show you is the charts view. And again, as I had mentioned, the Planner tool is a very graphically driven program. So if you are someone that likes dashboards and at-a-glance information, this could be a great solution for you. If you are a team manager or team lead or a manager of a larger team, this is a good place to come and quickly get some information about your team performance as it relates to a plan or a subset of tasks, if you will. So we do have the status chart here, which shows sort of quickly and graphically where our variety of tasks are sitting in their completion stages. So not started, in progress, late, and completed. Late obviously will trigger on your assigned days. In progress will trigger if it's beyond its start date, and not started, if you do not give it a start date, it will sort of generically sit into that category for now. We have a view here by bucket. So again, we drag the call the telephone company out of vendors into the urgent bucket. So we see that we have a heavier weighting of tasks in the urgent bucket. As well, from the charts view, you can go ahead and add new tasks. We can go ahead and see what is in each different bucket. Obviously, we've only got some stuff in our urgent bucket right now. And then if we scroll down as well, we can see on a chart, sort of in the visual way, where the tasks are assigned. So again, most of the tasks here are assigned to Spencer Lowe, and we have one that he's not started. So quite interesting to get these graphical views. Next, we've got the schedule view. And again, as I had mentioned, this is a calendar view of your variety of tasks that you have assigned due dates to. So we had picked the 31st of July to call our moving company. So we can see that that's already been added to this plan calendar, if you will. So important to distinguish, this would be different from a team calendar or from a shared calendar. But again, if you wanted to have a plan, like an office move, if you wanted to have a department, say the marketing department would have different buckets of tasks. Again, you could kind of make a team calendar in here, but again, it's important to know that this calendar relates to the plan board and sort of the overall goal, which would be the office move in this case. So again, lots of power here under the hood driving Microsoft Planner, and you can start to see that it is a good alternative for some of the larger project management software tools that are on the market. And hey, it's great, it's free, it's already included in your Office 365 subscription. So moving on from the schedule here, I just want to go to some of the more commands and just cover these again. Again, conversation will take you out to Outlook if you had wanted to chat about the particular plan that we have. Members lets you adjust the members that are assigned to the plan. Files will take you to SharePoint or OneDrive, depending on where the files for this particular plan are stored. And Notebook's an interesting one. We're actually going to click into this one here, and just to show you, you can associate a OneNote notebook to a particular plan. So in this case, I've gone ahead and really poorly drawn a reception desk and potentially a layout here. Again, for our office move example, we could have different drawings of the office move. We could have different tags for equipment, or different phone numbers for key people at the moving company or phone company, for example. So however you do want to store your information, there's no right or wrong way. It's whatever works best for your team. Rest assured that you do have the flexibility here in Planner, and this does take advantage of all the different components included in Office 365. Okay, I just want to switch to the mobile world now here for a quick second. I've pulled up an Android phone here. Again, anyone that's a fan of Webinar Wednesday knows I like to use this webinar phone for demonstrating Office 365 features. So I'm going to go ahead here and launch the Planner app. And rest assured, if you're an iPhone user too, you can get this on the iOS App Store as well. So here we are, we've logged into our demo data. We can see that Office Move is showing up in our favorites. We also have the AdventureWorks plan board that is in our favorites, and we can see all the plans that are assigned to this particular user and search from here as well. And that's our Planner Hub. The My Tasks view, again, this will be anything that's associated with this particular user. So again, in our example, we have the task for Call the Moving Company. And then there's a rich settings menu here as well. If you want to go through and set the different account settings and sign out, you can certainly do that as well. So back to the Planner Hub and back to the Office Move plan board. Again, all we do is scroll over and we can see the variety of buckets that we created in the plan board. We have the charts view available to us here on the go as well. And then we have plan settings and members. Again, we can see who is in this plan board, and we can assign new members to it on the go. So again, if you're a manager that doesn't spend a lot of time in the office, but you do want to keep your folks on track, you can use the mobile app here for just that purpose. And we can remove from favorites, we can add to favorites, and we can see other recent plans here as well. We can go into our tasks and we can see all of the information that we added on the task card. Now, it's not as detailed and not as rich as the web client would be, but for the most part, you can get most of the tasks done here that you would want to. So a good example here is, since we're on the mobile phone and since we all have cameras attached to our smartphones, if we had wanted to go and add a picture here, we could certainly do that. Take the picture with our smartphone and add that as an attachment here to the Call Moving Company task. And again, there's search built in throughout the Planner app. If you want to search for the variety of buckets that you may have, search throughout the plans. It's sort of an app-wide search, if you will. We can go in and even expand our completed tasks just to see how things are coming along. So now it's time for my 2 productivity superhero tricks as it relates to Microsoft Planner. First one is integrations into a couple of apps that we use each and every day. Here I am in the Office Outlook client on the web in the browser for this demo tenant. If you go here on the left hand under the folder pane, we have this groups list, and we do have an Office Move group. That's a group that's automatically made for the plan board that we have created. So here we can email back and forth and send messaging as far as it relates to this particular plan board. If we hop over to our calendar in Outlook as well, we can see that the Call Moving Company task that's assigned to us is all already right here on our Outlook calendar. I've gone ahead and made a different color just so it stands out here for the purpose of the demo, but you can see it does show up under other calendars, and you can see the planner My Tasks that are assigned to this particular user. And last but not least here, if you've tuned in before, you know my love of to-do lists, and you know my love of the Microsoft To-Do component of Office 365. So flipping over to To-Do, we can see that we have an Assigned to Me task category, and we can see, okay, we've already checked off phone the company, phone the moving company for the phone company. We also have the tasks that we created here for Call Moving Company. So we can even go ahead as far as completing this task in any of these variety of applications, and that will all show back into the planner in Microsoft Planner. The next productivity superhero trick I want to show you is, of course, Microsoft Teams. And I wouldn't be the cloud guy here at Profit Business Group if I wasn't excited about Microsoft Teams and how it integrates the variety of Office 365 tools together. So here's the other plan board that we had created in the demo environment for AdventureWorks. And you can see that we do have some of the different tabs available to us. We're going to go ahead and actually add a planner tab here. And so if we click on Add a Tab and we click on Planner, and we just wait for the system to load up here, we can create a new plan, or we can use an existing plan. So in this case, we want to tie that AdventureWorks plan to this team, and you can see that it finds it quite quickly, and we'll go ahead and save that. And again, if you spend a lot of time in Microsoft Teams, or you find that your team is sort of ramping up their usage of Microsoft Teams, this is a good way to bring in that planner functionality and the user interface and the variety of tools here. Again, the charts, the schedule, the buckets, and all the different tasks, all the different task card features as well. That brings that from the Microsoft Planner app here into the Microsoft Teams app. So again, a variety of different ways to consume and create the information, manipulate the information, but the same thing sort of holds true here. We do have the notion of buckets, we do have the drag and drop task interface and the task cards, we have the notion of a planner team, and again, all of the security controls and collaboration abilities there within those people listed in the team. Okay, so that's the end of the demo material that I had prepared for you today. Let's do a quick recap of everything we covered. Microsoft Planner is a simple yet powerful task management tool, and I hope that the demo helped give you an idea of some of the options and features that you would have available to you in Microsoft Planner. It is included in your Office 365 subscription, so I do encourage you to give it a try before you buy something or try something else. Again, it's included, you're already paying for it. Why pay for something more expensive or more complicated if Planner can fit your needs? You do create plans for large projects, teams, and you can do so in minutes. You can assign, you can make categories, set due dates on individual tasks and subtasks. You can use charts and schedules to see team progress at a glance, and if you're a visual person like me, that's a real benefit for you. You can integrate Planner with the rest of your Office 365 suite, so we did see adding OneNote, but as well you can add documents from SharePoint and OneDrive. You can use your Outlook calendar. You can even go as far as using the To-Do app that's included in Office 365. And probably the best thing of all, it's available across all popular platforms and devices. If you want to use it in a web browser on PC or Mac, if you want to use it on your mobile device, Android, iOS, if you want to use it on a tablet or smartphone, you certainly can do so.